Now, another possibility from that same notion, I couldn't push the head down, so I push it out, is a rolling or throwing type movement. This is more of a scramble type situation, but you do have good momentum nonetheless. Although, for me personally, I prefer to do moves that typically will require or allow me to maintain more control throughout the movement. But I think there is some value to this type of technique. I'm pushing here. What I'm going to do is I'm blocked. I'm going to grab this wrist because I'm going to take my opponent this way, and I want to make sure that he doesn't have a post. So I've got to block his arm. I'm going to do that by just grabbing his wrist. And I've also got to block his leg, and I'm going to do that by putting the outside of my ankle to the outside of his ankle. And I've got to put my butt past this foot. It's going to be over here. I'm going to come through, and I'm going to duck under, and I'm also going to be pushing here with my head. So my head is going to be pushing this way, pushing his body this way. I'm going to be blocking this post here by grabbing his wrist. I'm going to be blocking this post here with my ankle. I'm also going to get some momentum circularly this way, so that if I'm going this way, he's going to be going that way. Okay, and that's going to be the goal of this technique. So I'm here, Colby might press me if he's pushing into me from this position here. What I'm going to do is grab, and I just want to get a piece of it. I'm not going to try to pull it through, and from here, I'm going to hop in here to this position. I want to transition quickly to the side. Doing it slowly. Again, pushing down, that's my route. That was ineffective in this situation, or ineffective. I block. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab the wrist. I'm going to throw my hip in this direction, getting my head up towards his chest. I want to get the outside of my ankle to the outside of his ankle, blocking it. And again, my body wants to go this way. I want to take his body that way. So trying to do it kind of slowly here. I'm going to hop in here to that position. Immediately, I want to transition to the side. Colby comes in on his single. I wasn't able to push down. I push away. I grab here. And I transition out. Now, you may have noticed as I was going through this series where when I've pushed my opponent's head down and I've been unsuccessful and had to push it to the side, I was able to do a couple of attacks where I was blocking this leg in some manner or fashion. Okay? So where that leg is important in terms of what I'm going to do. So as Colby attacks in here, if this leg is close and I blocked here, I have this type of a technique to come for, or I can grab the wrist and do the throw or the roll we just did a moment ago. However, if as I'm doing that, this leg comes back, that's the time here where I want to pull out. Because naturally, if this leg is in tight, he's in fairly good position. But if he pulls this back now, he's pulling up, but he doesn't have a post here that's effective to maintain sort of a frame here for himself against me. So that makes my power down with my legs more effective than if his leg is here, where it'd be a little bit more difficult. So just be aware when his leg is further up closer to me, my preference would be to try the reach behind there or that roll or throw. Whereas if I'm doing that, and he responds by pulling his leg back, or if in the midst of our moving around and scrambling with each other, the leg goes back, that's an opportune time to go hip down. And you'll notice too when I do this hip down, I'm blocking with the head, that's crucial. I'm not just going to pull the arms up, and I'm not just pushing my hip down here. I want to slide my hip down. I want to get the weight down as much as I can. So I'm pulling up, pulling that leg through, and the hip is going down. So again, I'm in here, I can think of this, okay? He pulls that back. That's an opportune time to thrust the leg through. Another technique, and this is useful particularly when your opponent prevents you from pulling your leg through. Kobe attacks on the single, I push the head down, I'm unsuccessful. Immediately I come to the side, I may have been trying to come back here. He pulls back, so I'm going to pull down here hard. Now you'll notice I got my leg part way down, but I didn't get it out. He's going to be pulling up, and by pulling up, he's putting more weight on his feet. What I'm going to do from this position now is I'm going to skip in with this foot to get closer to his center of gravity here. So I want to make a fulcrum with my body, and you just come for a simple throw here. Okay? You have much power there because I've stretched him out. He's pulling up here. He's in very vulnerable position. At first, when I was pushing my leg through, I was hoping to be able to get it all the way through, but he blocked it. But I still got more space, and so I was in better position than when I started. I have enough space and enough give here in this situation to be able to skip in. It's crucial that I skip in because I don't have much power reaching. So I want to have my hips in, and I can get my hips in by skipping. By skipping, and you'll notice that this leg gets cocked up from this position here, and I'm just going to kick out. And you'll notice I'm off my heel here. Colby comes in, I push down, unsuccessful, I push away, I reach back, he's not going to let me get that, I pull down here, I don't have this, he's tough, he's grabbed in here. Immediately, notice I don't really have a very favorable position to do that with my leg way out here. So, from this position I pull down, I need to come in here, I need to skip in, and from here notice my leg gets cocked. I can go for the throw there. Notice too when I come in, I'm pushing down. It's important I get in deep. Notice too, I'm not upright with my leg or my knee, but I've lowered my level from this position. And when I throw, I'm not so much interested in this, although this part is just guiding him, okay, where I have my overhook here and I've got his tricep. This is what's counting here. Just like that hip pop we were talking about in the earlier instructionals. Again, the notion of popping the hip. So I hop in here, I want to pop. You'll notice it goes back and up. From here, down, and through. And if you just practice that notion, while against a skilled wrestler, you're probably not going to throw them. They probably in reality will adjust. You'll typically nonetheless get enough distance by virtue of him having to defend against that attack to be able to break away or to reinitiate another attack. Let me just do the throw once more. Take a sheet in. So, in the situation where I'm going to do this, against most experienced people, you're not going to throw them. However, you'll have been enough of a threat, if you are not successful in throwing them, such that they're going to typically disengage, which will give you enough space to readjust your position, and of course you're in a better position here than you were when your opponent or partner had your leg in the first place.